Before this episode starts, I just want to send my condolences to Tyreek Hill. Last night on the Monday Night Game against the Jets, he suffered a gruesome knee injury. It was a graphic one. If you want to watch the injury for yourself, search Tyreek Hill injury, but beware. Watch at your own risk. You may cringe, you may go, ooh, that's bad. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, let's get to the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm the Grizz, and I'm going to be doing Week 4 NFL reactions, and also I'm going to do my quarter season review, as in how I feel about every team after Week 4. I'm going to do the same thing with the Big 12, I think, tomorrow when I do my Week 5 predictions, just throwing that out there. Anyways, if you're looking for that Season 2 playlist, make sure you click that link in the description so you can watch every episode so you're all caught up. You also have it for future episodes whenever they come out. Do not forget to hit the red subscribe button down there and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos, and also helps my channel a lot. Without further ado, let's go react to some Week 4 games, shall we? First game we are starting off is the 39th football game where Seattle was able to outlast Arizona thanks to a game-winning field goal by Jason Myers, 23-20. That's so weird that every single game for the Cardinals was a close game, even against ass teams. Look, man, say what you want about Sam Darnold. Say he's nothing flashy, but he is a surgically good quarterback. Dude was 18 of 26, 242 yards, had a touchdown. Charbonnet had the other touchdown, much to the dismay of Kenneth Walker fantasy owners. I'm not one of them, by the way. Receiving was led by Jesse Smith-Njigba, again, 4 catches, 79. A.J. Bartner had the only receiving touchdown in the game for them. But this defense had probably one of its best games I have seen. 2 sacks for Nwosu, 1.5 for Glenn Williams. I think they had a combined total of 6 sacks? So yeah, 6 sacks and 2 interceptions, one by Ernest Jones and the other by Kobe Bryant. If you wanted to see him, there he was. Jason Myers, 1 missed field goal, but he did come in clutch at the end, nailing the game-winning field goal to win against the Cardinals. Seattle definitely put their place as the second best team in the NFC West. As for the Arizona Cardinals, I think it is time to move on from Kyler Murray. Guy can make some great throws, but he can also make the most mind-boggling turnovers and also take the most unnecessary sacks out there. That's just how Kyler Murray's time in Arizona has just been. Running game without James Conner was not great. Receiving touchdowns went to Marvin Harrison. He's probably a very inconsistent receiver. Trey McBride getting some good catches, and also the other touchdown going to DeMarcado. Defense was able to get 3 sacks, including with Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell, but other than that, they were just unable to stop the very nice and surgical offense of Seattle. This is exactly why a lot of people, including myself, are saying Arizona are pretenders, because yeah, every single game was a 1-score game, and they've been winning ugly against the Saints and Panthers. That tells you something's up. Pretty nice win, Seattle. Now we move on where the Vikings lose to the Steelers 24-21 on Sunday morning in Dublin. I couldn't really watch this game too much, but I gotta be honest, this game was just dominated by Pittsburgh's defense, to be fair. Rushing game definitely didn't help, but Carson Wentz, he's 30 of 46. The fact that they made him throw 46 times is a big concern. I mean, sure, he had 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also had 2 interceptions, and he was also holding the ball for too long while he got sacked a lot. Jefferson's back to being one of the best receivers in the game with 10 catches, 126 yards. Jordan Addison's back, and he had himself a game, 4 catches, 114. And the 2 touchdowns went to Jalen Naylor and Xavier Scott. I'm assuming Scott is the fullback? I mean, aside from Jalen Redmond having 2 sacks, this defense, not gonna lie, not the greatest performance. For the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers was as accurate as you can get. 200 yards, 18 of 22, and a touchdown. All he had to do was just be accurate with his throws, and he did just that. Rushing was led by Kenneth Gainwell, who had 99 yards on 19 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns. What a game for him. Yeah, and Caleb Johnson is turning more and more into a dud. Just ask what he did against Seattle. And also for receiving, DK Metcalf continues to lead receiving, 5 catches, 126, and the only receiver touchdown in the game. But like I said before, this game was dominated by defense. 2 interceptions from TJ Watt and Deshaun Elliott, and 6 sacks total for the defense. So Pittsburgh's defense is back. Nice to know. We have the 1 o'clock slate for Sunday up next. First off, Commanders losing to my Falcons 34-27. I'm not gonna lie, Marcus Mariota wasn't that bad, to be fair. I mean, he led his team down the field. I mean, our defense was getting cooked by him. It's a good thing our offense showed up. I mean, Mariota only threw 16 and 27 for 156 yards. He didn't throw an interception. He did throw 2 touchdowns, though. Rushing game was actually pretty solid, to be fair. You know, Rodriguez and Krosky Merritt having 8.4 and 6.7 yards to carry is very scary. And without Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel led receiving with 6 for 72 and a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey in a second touchdown. Dang. And Washington's defense got cooked aside from a Luvu sack and a bad interception thrown by Penix to Mike Sainristal. Just like the national championship? What? Oh, hey, Matt Gay. Nice game for you. Oh, I didn't even realize Luke McCaffrey had 6 kick returns for almost 200 yards. Yeah, by the way, special teams was an absolute unit this week. There's a lot of amazing special teams out there. That's why you don't overlook that side of the football. As for the Falcons, Michael Penix, absolutely one of his best games of his career, actually. 20 and 26, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. It was a bad interception, by the way. Our running back duo, Robinson and Algier, both had touchdowns, 120 total yards between the two. And receiver was led by 3 guys. Drake London, 8 catches for 110 and a touchdown. Bijan, 4 catches, 106. And Kyle Pitts, 5 for 70 and a touchdown. I'm feeling it, guys. I think this is the year that Kyle Pitts breaks out and becomes what he was in 2020. Or at least close to that. Not gonna lie, defense didn't really do too much special except for Xavier Watts' interception. The X Factor gets a second career interception. Ooh, man. If only HHL could just come back, I think we would have probably won by 2 scores. But hey, I hope he's coming back week 6 because we got a bye next week. What a way to go into the bye, though. Next up, we got the Chargers getting upset by the Giants in MetLife at the cost of Malik Neighbors being out for the year. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert's worst game of the season, 23 of 41, 200 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Martin Hampton went off this week, 12 carries, 128 yards, and a touchdown. And also added 37 more yards to that, and the only touchdown in the game went to Quentin Johnston, 8 catches, almost 100 yards, and a touchdown. I am regretting every single bit of starting McConkey the week 4, because he laid an egg. Catch for 11 yards. Now, this was the interesting part. Tuli Tuipulotu, I believe that's how you say his name. Diane Henley had 8 tackles as well. This man, Tuipulotu, had 4 sacks against the Giants. That is the best sacking day so far this season for one player. It was a total of 6 sacks, and 4 of them came from this guy. And yeah, other than that, the defense was just atrocious. Well, not bad, but not good enough, though. Jackson Dart's first start, he actually didn't do too bad. 13 of 20, 100 yards, touchdown through the air, even got a touchdown on the ground, had a really nice run for a score. Cam Scadaboo's still getting yards, still fighting, still running over people. I mean, this guy might be the next Mike Gallstott. Receiver didn't really make too much noise except for Theo Johnson getting a touchdown and also Malik Neighbors' knee injury that has him out for the year, ACL. To be real honest with you, I don't think the Giants defense really made that much noise either, except for the interceptions for Andrew Phillips and Dexter Lawrence, but they were stopping LA on some very key drives. Also, who the heck is this guy? Jude McAdamy? I don't know. That was a good win, Giants. At least we won't have to talk about you being 0-17 anymore. You guys are going to be 1-16 now? Up next, we got our second shutout of the year. Tennessee Titans getting shut out by Houston, 26-0. And dear God, this Titans team looks awful. I think it's safe to say that Cam Ward's confidence is down the drain. Tony Pollard is like the only guy that's really helping him out at this point, and Eli Manor. Manor is probably going to be the wide receiver 1, maybe wide receiver 2, I don't know. I think he is the number 1 guy, because Calvin really is a big disappointment. I mean, aside from Cedric Gray getting 10 tackles and 2 sacks from the defense, this was just empty. CJ Stroud had his best game of the season as well. 22 of 28, 230 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Woody Marsh is going to be a waiver wire target for week 5 as he scored 2 touchdowns, 120 total yards. Man, that guy is good. And we also have a Jaden Higgins touchdown. Defense did its job. 2 sacks for Hunter, interception for Stingley. I mean, they were just going off. 67% kicker and Kyrie Fairbairn, but it didn't matter because the Titans couldn't score anything. And they only punted 3 times. And the Texans are finally in the win column. Yeah. You're going against Baltimore next week. Good luck. Up next, in the biggest game of the week, probably, other than the Sunday Night Football matchup, we had the Eagles beating the Bucs 31-25. Let me tell you something right now. If the Eagles didn't force all those turnovers on Tampa Bay, I'm telling you, Tampa Bay would have absolutely won this game. That's just how clutch the Eagles defense is. Jalen Hurts, yeah, when everyone has said that he's beat the running back allegations, yeah, I take that back. 15-24, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, besides the touchdown, he's been getting shut down these first 4 games. I mean, come on, he was a 2,000-yard rusher last year. Why wouldn't they focus on him? Disaster class of a receiving group aside from Dallas Goedert getting 2 touchdowns. But then A.J. Brown, 2 catches, 7 yards? He was dropping a lot of passes as well. Dang, the fallout is absolutely brutal. It's a damn good thing the defense showed up. 2 sacks, an interception by Jahad Campbell. Jahad Campbell actually was pretty good. Also, a couple of forced fumbles and even a blocked punt return for a touchdown. I'm telling you guys, you gotta watch out for those special teams. You can't overlook them, because they'll bite you right in the ass. As for Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield is once again showing why he is an MVP candidate. I mean, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Had some amazing throws for long touchdowns. Buck Irvin, surprisingly not a great day, like 63 yards, but he also fumbled the ball. At least he got a touchdown in the receiving game, though. 5 catches, 100 yards. Mika Buka, 4 for 101 in a score. And also Chris Godwin is back, and yeah, he was there. 3 catches, 26 yards. He wasn't doing too much, though. 2 sacks for Vita Vea, but other than that, yeah, defense didn't really do the best. And McLaughlin, it was perfect, including a 65-yarder. I forgot to say, but Chargers, you're going to be fine. Bucks, you're going to be fine. Eagles, you're probably the best team in the NFL right now. Next up, we got the Panthers getting beat bad by the Patriots 42-13. I told y'all that game against the Falcons was a fluke. Bryce did not get benched. It was just such a bad blowout that Dalton had to come in. They both threw 2 touchdowns, 200 yards combined. Rushing, for the most part, for the runners was abysmal. ETN got some carries, though. Receivers was led by T-Mac. He's doing pretty good. 4 catches, 62. Tremble and Mitchell Evans had touchdowns. And yeah, brutal defense because they were horrific. Drake May, a very accurate but very impressive game. 14-17, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns on the ground, including 1 from Drake May. Rushing game didn't really get many yards, but they did score points. Stephon Diggs out of nowhere had 100 yards on 6 catches, and the 2 touchdowns went to, of course, Hunter Henry and also Mac Hollins. Also heard Christian Gonzalez came back, and yeah, from what I've heard, he was a big difference maker in that defense. He, along with a couple of others, were getting key stops on the Panthers to prevent them from getting much of anything. And by the way, shout out to Marcus Jones for the long punt return touchdown. Yeah, like I said, a lot of special teams plays this week. Like I said, New England, you're going to be just fine. You just needed to wait a minute for it to finally click. Next up, we have the Saints only losing to the Bills by 12, 31-19. This wasn't so much about the Bills, playing down on their competition. It was more of the fact that the Saints are showing a lot more fight than quite a lot of teams will give it credit for. Sure, that loss to Seattle was demoralizing, but hey, Saints kept on fighting in this game. They made it close. I will say, though, Spencer Rattler was decent in this game. 126 yards, a touchdown. Olave threw an interception on a trick play. Kendrick Miller had a touchdown as well. There was a couple drops from receivers also. Kamara also had 70 yards, so the rushing game is very on point. And the only touchdown actually went to Olave. Cooks dropped a touchdown, I think, from what I've heard. Yeah, I gotta be honest, the defense didn't play terribly. I mean, an interception out there on Josh Allen, 3 sacks. I mean, this team kept on fighting and it showed. Not Josh Allen's best game, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and also 1 on the ground. James Cook was cooking like always. His touchdown passes went to Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, this guy is back. I think it's time to admit that. And Khalil Shakir also got a touchdown early in the game. Tre'Davious White led tackling, interception for Cole Bishop. They made Nick Bosa look pretty good. Man, yeah, the Bills. Oh boy. Or even see the other two guys with sacks, Bosa and Daquan Jones. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Joey Bosa's washed. Not your best look, Buffalo. You got a big game coming up against New England. Up next, we got the Browns getting pounded by the Lions 34-10. Get it? Dog pound? Yeah. No? Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I think it is time for a QB change in Cleveland. I know, veteran experience, you don't want to feed them to the wolves. Find a good defense to play against that your rookies won't get absolutely destroyed in. Just ask Justin Dart. Flacco, man, this guy's time is up, man. 16-34, 180 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. That is alarming. Quinshon Judkins showing everybody that he is the RB1 of Cleveland with 82 yards and a score. Not much to show for receiving, and receiving was actually led by Isaiah Bond of all people. Jerry Jeudy had some good catches also. I'm sorry, man. The defense can only do so much for you. Denzel Ward got an interception, but other than that, that was pretty much it. Lions didn't need to do too much. They just needed to go drive down the field because of the field position they got. Jared Goff, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interceptions, 16 of 27. Jahmyr Gibbs did well against that Cleveland defense. I'm glad it didn't start David Montgomery because 9 for 12 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, on the other hand, 91 yards and a touchdown. Just a shame I had to go against him. Both touchdowns went to Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches for 70 yards. Defense showed out in a big way. 2 sacks from Hutchinson. This guy is officially back. 2 interceptions by DJ Reed and Kirby Joseph. I heard DJ Reed was out of the game, and so was Terry and Arnold. They were doing pretty solid, I think. And what do you know? Another special teams play. Khalif Raymond gets a punt return for a touchdown also. Not bad, Detroit. Not bad. No Ben Johnson, no problem. Now we move on to the 4 o'clock slate where the Jaguars were able to beat the 49ers 26-21. Glad I got this game right. I will say I'm not the hater on Trevor Lawrence, but right now this season he has not looked great. Like, he was decent this game, 170 yards, 21-31 touchdown. Travis Etienne absolutely balled out, 120 yards and a touchdown. I tried to tell y'all this guy's good. Brian Thomas is back to being alive. Touchdown went to Hunter Long. Travis Hunter, 3 catches, 42 yards. Not terrible. Brenton Strange had the most catches with 6. But big shout out to Devin Lloyd. 6 tackles and 2 interceptions in this game. This guy was balling out. I think it's safe to say this guy has officially arrived. And another special teams touchdown, this time by Parker Washington. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, Brock Purdy looked lost in this game. I mean, he's a decent quarterback, but to give him all that money? Really? 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, both of them to Lloyd. Running game didn't do too much. McCaffrey is productive as a receiving back, I'll give him that. He had 92 yards on 6 catches and a touchdown, and Jay Tonjes gets another touchdown. And yeah, you can see why they are absolutely missing Nick Bosa. I mean, Fred Warner is like really the only amazing defender on this team. I mean, Dean Winters had 9 tackles as well, but yeah, missing Nick Bosa really hurts this team. This is starting to look like 2024 all over again. Next up, we have the Colts barely lose it to the Rams, 27-20. Yeah, Colts put up a real good fight in this one. Like, not even joking, they literally could have won this one. Not the best game from Danny Dimes, 24-33, 262 yards, but he definitely was accurate unless you count the 2 interceptions. He also threw a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor somehow didn't get a touchdown. Yeah, he had 1 touchdown that was called back because there was a guy in the receiving corps that I need to talk about. And then Tyler Warren had a touchdown. Now I could talk about him. Pittman had the only touchdown. Tyler Warren was balling out, but this guy, A.D. Mitchell, Colts, you need to get rid of him now. This guy made 2 errors that cost his team the game. Last year, he was complaining that he wasn't getting the ball, and then second year, yeah, he takes 2 fatal errors for the Colts' undefeated season. Guy's been a fucking cancer ever since he got drafted here. Don't believe me? The first big mistake he made was when he had like a 70-yard catch. He decided to showboat, and he lost the ball at the 1-yard line, and it went through the back of the end zone, touchback Rams. Not only cost his team a touchdown, but also a possession. And do you remember the holding? You remember the Jonathan Taylor run for a touchdown that got called back? That leads to the second error. He was the one who held, allowing the touchdown to get called back. Colts, you seriously need to cut ties with this guy because he has done nothing but sabotage you ever since he got drafted. And bring unwanted attention to your fan base and also your team. Nick Cross had a good game with 14 total tackles, 6 solo, 3 sacks in this game. But yeah, they got torched by the Rams offense though. They talk about Stafford being washed and old, like it needs to stop. This guy's still a top 10 quarterback even when he's nearing 40. 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 29-41. Running game, for the most part, was really productive. 3 people had touchdowns. Devontae Adams, 456 in touchdown. I didn't think he would get one because of the limited snaps he was probably going to get. Tutu Atwell had a catch for 88 yards and touchdown. And Puka Nacua, let me tell you why this guy is LPOY. 13 catches, 170 yards and a touchdown. This guy might actually break the reception record, to be fair. Guy gets like 10 catches, 130 yards a game. Cam Curl, bowed out, Jared Verse, and Byron Young had 2 sacks, or 1 for each. Ram defense needed to do what needed to be done to be able to secure the win. That's exactly what they did. Colts, you're going to be just fine. You may have went down, but you went down swinging. Next up, we got the Bears beating the Raiders 25-24 thanks to a blood field goal. What comes around, doesn't it? Not the best game offensively, to be fair. 22 of 37, 212 yards for Williams, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Rushing game, for the most part, was pretty brutal. It was bad. DeAndre Swift had the only touchdown on the ground. That was the only bright spot. And only really highlights really show for the receiving game was 4 catches, 69 yards, and a score for Dunze. Man, Dunze is here. And yeah, defense getting 3 interceptions, 2 from Byard, 1 from Stevenson. Definitely did not help the Raiders in this one. Tremaine Edmonds also had a pretty solid game again. Nice 4 for 4, Caro. Yeah, for the Raiders, like, Gentry was like the only great guy in this game, to be fair. 150 total yards, 3 touchdowns. This guy is definitely arrived now. But seriously, yeah, Geno Smith, yeah, he's not as good as people want him to be. This guy is having himself a Brett Favre kind of situation here. Just like last year's Jordan Love. 14 of 21, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Yikes. Devin White was all on the field. Max Crosby had the only interception, but other than that, the Raiders' defense was pretty atrocious. And also, don't forget the blocked field goal that the Bears had on Carlson. You got me back to believing, yes, Chicago. Next up in America's Game of the Week, we had the Ravens getting beaten by the Chiefs 37-20. A disaster class by Baltimore. I mean, come on. Their defense was atrocious. Lamar had to fake an injury because he wanted to get away from the embarrassment. I mean, this was ugly. Easily Lamar Jackson's worst game of the season. 14-20, 150 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Also had a little hamstring injury, so Cooper Rush had a couple of passes. 9 for 13, 52 yards. Not as good as Lamar, though. Justice Hill was the player of the game on the offense for the Ravens, you know. 120 yards total, 2 touchdowns. Pretty nice game for him. And yeah, like I said before, defense absolutely atrocious. That led to Patrick Mahomes having the best game of the season for him. 270 yards, 4 touchdowns, 25-37. And he needed that bad because the Russian offense, putrid. Xavier Worthy returned and he made a big impact with 100 total yards, 83 receiving. And also 4 touchdowns went to 4 different players. And they were not named Kelsey. 5 catches for 48 yards. That wasn't too bad, though. And defense had themselves a game, you know. Interception by Leo Chanel. 2 sacks. Also forced Jackson to fumble quite often. And yeah, they just had Ravens' number all game. Shout out to Nico Remigio, the Fresno State guy who had a long 47-yard return. And yeah, Bunker, Georgia Tech man, 3 of 4. Yeah, oh boy, it's not looking good for his kicking situation right now. Easily probably going to be one of his worst years in his career. Still a good win regardless, Kansas City. Now we have the Sunday night game where this was an absolute thrilling, cinematic, unbelievable, dramatic tie. 40-40 between the Packers and Cowboys. Defenses didn't really even bother to show up. I mean, we knew Dallas wasn't going to show up, but the fact that Green Bay's defense didn't show up? I don't think this affects Green Bay's defense in the slightest. I think this is just how good Dallas's offense is. I mean, look at this. Like, Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, 337 yards, 31-43. Probably a career game for him. Also, Josh Jacobs, 2 touchdowns, 86 yards. And add 71 receiving yards to Jacobs' name. And also 3 touchdowns for Dobbs. All 3 of them went to him. For the Cowboys, 31-40, 319, 3 touchdowns for Dak. He is still a good quarterback. Please stop saying he's ass, because he's not. Javonte Williams, another strong performance for him on the touchdown. Oh, don't forget Dak Prescott also got a rushing touchdown. 3 touchdowns in the game through the air went to George Pickens twice and once to Jake Ferguson. Pickens 8 for 134, Jalen Tolbert 4 for 61, Jake Ferguson 7 for 40. Oh yeah, and how about Cavante Turpin with 175 return yards on 6 returns. Absolute dogfight that ended in time, man. This was a great game. Second highest scoring tie in NFL history and the highest scoring tie in the Super Bowl era. Now we move on to really the boring Monday night doubleheader. Miami going against the New York Jets. Miami wins 27-21 to get their first win. And by the way, NFL, we need to get rid of this doubleheader. Like, this happened way too often, and we're getting either one ass game or one good game, or both ass games. There's literally no in between. Justin Fields returned to the field, and he actually played well. 300 total yards, 2 total touchdowns, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. Breece Hall was decent as well. Garrett Wilson, of course, led receiving. 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. How about Mason Taylor with 5 catches for 65? And yeah, defense was absolutely putrid. For Miami, Tua, a much better game this time. Well, better 2-game stretch, to be honest. Like, what was it? 4 touchdowns and a pick his last 2 games. 2 touchdowns this week, or on Monday night, last night, 177 yards. Etienne, absolute dog. Darren Waller seems to be back in Pro Bowl form with 2 touchdowns on his 3 catches. This did come with a cost, though. Tyreek Hill suffered an absolute gruesome knee injury, like I talked about in the beginning of the video. He led receiver with 6 catches for 67 yards. Keep your thoughts and prayers with him that he'll be okay. 2 players to highlight on defense. First off, Jordan Brooks, 15 tackles? God damn. Also, Tyrell Dodson, another great game. I think he had a forced fumble and a sack. I think it was a strip sack, to be honest with you. Those 2 guys headlined a pretty okay to mediocre defense. Also, hi Malik Washington. Nice to see you there. Relax, Miami. You're not good at all. And the final game of week 4 was the Bengals getting absolutely decimated by Denver, 28-3. Oh gosh, no. Every time I hear those 2 numbers, I get absolutely anxiety and PTSD, whatever you want to call it. Nah, I'm just playing. That doesn't affect me anymore. That joke is almost a decade old. Get over it. But seriously, Cincinnati, your offense is absolutely abysmal without Joe Burrow. What was it, like 150 total yards the entire game? Chase Brown couldn't even help you. Jay Browning, 125 yards, 14-25. Ass! Not even your duo receiving threat that you paid a lot of money to could save you. Like, yo, we're that bad. Defense wasn't even better. I mean, the only guy who really did anything was Demetrius Knight. The South Carolina rookie headlined the defense. That's because Denver was even better. This is exactly why you do not count Denver out. Because they have a good team. Bo Nix, 29-42, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. Also even ran for a score. Marvin Mims had himself a rushing touchdown with 16 yards. J.K. Dobbins became the first player, I believe, in 38 games to be a 100-yard rusher for Denver. Jeez, 2.25 years? That is a long time. Cortland Sutton had 5 catches, 81 and a score. Also shout out to Archie Harvey, UCF rookie running back, taken in the 2nd round, getting 100 total yards and his first career touchdown. I mean, 3 sacks wasn't that impressive, but if you look at the game stats, oh boy, you can see why this defense absolutely were loaded. Nick Bonino, absolute beast. Unless Bengals make a change in quarterback, I don't know what to say about them. But yeah, this was a great bounce back for Denver after 2 straight losses, gut-wrenching losses at that. That's all for the week 4 reactions. I'm going to move on to another segment. We're going to go for the quarter season review for the tier list. Let's go to that. So, I made some couple tiers. You got best of the best teams in the league, Super Bowl contenders, not quite at that first tier yet, but they're still very, very good. Playoff contenders, either because of a weak division or also because, they're actually very good. Wildcard hopefuls, teams that are on the bubble that I think will make the playoffs. Missing playoffs, that's the opposite of that spectrum. Pretenders need another year. Pretenders that have a good start because of a weak schedule and also luck. And also need another year. Teams that are young but also need another year to develop. Mediocre, just some teams that I think are just bad right now. And also add a little tier down there called the Dungeon of Ass. Sound good? Perfect. Also, ignore the ads that are popping up at the side of the screen. Those are just there because this is a website. I'm going to have to try to get this quick. I want to get this as quick as possible. First off, Arizona, let's put them in pretenders right now. Yeah, they're on the pretender side of this thing because, yeah, they had 2 ugly wins against the Saints and Panthers. Lost close to the Niners and Seahawks. I mean, this team is not as good as people think they are. Next on this list, we got the Atlanta Falcons wild card hopefuls, to be honest. I would put them in needed of the year also, but I think this team has waited long enough. Have some great defensive rookie standouts right now. They also got a pretty young offense. I mean, it's going to take a year for this dang team to develop, but they're getting there. Up next, Baltimore. I still think they are playoff contenders. I don't think they're necessarily Super Bowl contenders right now. Bad 1-3 start, but they should be able to bounce back when they need to because AFC North opponents, besides one game with the Browns, is really coming up. And they're going to have it pretty easy, perhaps unless you're playing the Steelers. Up next, Buffalo, absolutely best of the best. Sure, ugly win against the Saints, but everybody else, very good. Oh yeah, I can't forget about that Thursday night game against Miami. Pretty close though, Buffalo. Next up, Carolina Panthers. They are just mediocre. I'm not going to put them in the Dungeon of Ash just yet. I think this team does have a lot of potential, but if Bryce Young continues to play like a mediocre quarterback, I don't see them going anywhere. Next up, we got Chicago Bears. I think they are also wild card hopefuls. Sure, they started 0-2, but they are actually going off a 2-game win streak right now, and they're actually looking pretty solid right now. Defense finally showed up. Offense is starting to pick it up. I think this team could really go a long way. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're like right on the edge of mediocre. They're almost in the Dungeon of Ass. Offense is atrocious. Defense is even worse. If only Joe Burrow was healthy. And he still wouldn't have beaten the Broncos. Next up, we got the Browns. I'm not going to put them in mediocre or in a Dungeon of Ass just yet. I'm going to put them in mediocre. Because at least their defense can do something, unlike the offense. If they can just change their quarterback, they would be fine. Next up, we got Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they're necessarily that bad, but I still think they're missing the playoffs. If you want to make a good run, you have to have a good defense, and Dallas does not have one right now, despite their offense playing amazing. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos. I was going to put them in wildcard hopefuls, but I think they're playoff contenders as of right now. Defense has definitely picked it up. Offense is still looking pretty solid right now. This is why you never count out Denver. Up next, Detroit. I'm going to go Super Bowl contenders. Yes. They didn't need those coordinators because they're doing just fine without them, apparently. Put 52 on the Bears, beat the Ravens, even blew out the Browns when they had one of the best defenses in the NFL. This team's good. Next up, Green Bay. Still going to put them in Super Bowl contenders. I was going to put them in best of the best until those last 2 games. Defense had its worst game just on Sunday night, but that doesn't mean the defense is bad. They just got diced up by a very good Cowboys offense. They're going to be just fine. As for the offense, I think they finally found their stride. Next up, Houston. Yeah, they could be playoff contenders, to be quite honest with you. Not because they're good, it's really because they're in a weak division. Actually, that's what I would have said if they were in the preseason. Nah, they're missing the playoffs. Because the Colts and Jags are actually catching up to them. Or they may have already caught up with them. Defense is fine, but the offense is slow as a mug. Like, sure, you beat the Titans, but everything else, you look terrible. Next up, we're going against the Colts. This is a team that I actually do think is going to make the playoffs. 3-1 start. Daniel Jones having himself a 4-game stretch for the ages. Add that to a very solid defense and a very nice supporting cast along with him. This team could be dangerous. Next up, Jacksonville. I'm going to just put them in wildcard hopefuls. I don't think they're that great. Quarterback is the biggest issue right now. Everything else seems to be just fine. Next up, Kansas City. Super Bowl contenders. I know they're 2-2, but come on, it's the Chiefs. They just blew out Baltimore. Man, Baltimore's looking more fraudulent by a week. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes had his best game of the season. I think they finally found their offensive rhythm. Next up, LA Chargers. Absolutely Super Bowl contenders, 100%. That Giants loss is not going to hurt them in the slightest. I promise you. Got a great coach. Quarterback's still good. Sporting cast, aside from Najee Harris's injury, is looking solid. Defense has some good pieces. It's looking good for them. Next up, we have the Rams. They're absolutely Super Bowl contenders, 100%. An electrifying offense. Defense is at least solid. They should be a very big team to watch out for. Next, we got the Raiders. I don't think they're absolutely that bad, but yeah, they're mediocre right now. Shinty had an amazing game. Chip Kelly finally let him do what he wants, what has been working for him. But Geno Smith, man, golly, he's holding this team back. Next up, Miami Dolphins. Ass. Victory lap on that one. I don't give a shit if you beat the Jets. Your ass. Next, we got Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, you need another year. Carson Wentz was up and down in his stretch. J.J. McCarthy could be coming back, but that also means the Vikings offense will be stagnant. At least the defense looks pretty promising. Next up, we got the New England Patriots. Wild card hopefuls. Let's be real, they're not beating the Bills for the AFC East division, but they can really put up a fight. They're better than like about half of the league right now. I think they're definitely a wild card contender right now. Next up, we got the Saints. Yeah, I'm very sorry, New Orleans. Ass. I mean, it's just because you're on 4. That's it. You do fight back in a lot of those games, though. Next up, you got the Giants. I'm going to put them in need another year. They finally made the switch to Jackson Dart, and he's not terrible, but that schedule is brutal. Good luck, Jackson. You're going to need it. Defense is looking pretty solid now after that Chargers game, though. Next, we got the Jets. Ass. Victory lap on that one. They are atrocious. Justin Fields has good games from time to time, but it's just not enough. Yeah, it's just basically because they're the Jets. Man, Justin Fields went to the worst team he could have gone to after he left Pittsburgh. Up next, we got the Eagles, 100% best of the best. They are also 4-0. Sure, they squeaked by a couple of those games, but for the most part, they are looking solid. Not just solid, elite. Next up, we got Pittsburgh. Oh boy. Yeah, you guys are going to be wildcard hopefuls. Mike Tomlin's still somehow go 9-8 again. Defense has finally woken up. Offense has gotten a little bit slower ever since that first game. If Aaron Rodgers can just repeat what he did in week 1, I think they'll be just fine. Next up, we got Seattle. 100% playoff contenders. I mean, 100%. Sam Darnold's doing well. Justin Smith and Jigba, and apparently Torrey Horton is actually the leading receivers right now. Don't forget that absolutely amazing defense. This team's going to be good. Next, we got San Francisco. For San Francisco, oh boy, injured to hell. It's like 2024 all over again. All these guys out, and now Nick Bosa's out for the season. Yikes. I think Kittle's about to come back from IR. Brock Purdy may have been injured again. I don't know. It's just a disaster for Shanahan. Next up, we got Tampa Bay. They're 100% Super Bowl contenders. There's no beating around that bush. They're just that good. They just lost to a better team. Up next, we got the Titans. Ass. Victory lap on that one. I mean, come on. This offense looks atrocious. The defense isn't so bad, but yeah. Cam Ward needs some new weapons. Aside from Tony Pollard and Aya Manor. And the final team we have is Washington. Dude, I don't know. Yes, wildcard hopefuls? I don't think they're as good as last year's team. I could say that. Mr. Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin was huge for Atlanta to get the win, but I don't know, man. I just don't trust Washington right now. And that is my quarterly progress report for every NFL team up to after week 4. Once we get to the midseason, some of these will definitely change. And that's also going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a big fat thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizz, signing off for now, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.